David, Ian too will be pretty happy with our
Yeah.
performance. First time that they've stood in the Assembly elections. You're going to look at those figures and people before profit and the Greens as well. How have they all done?
So they're all kind of bunched together between just 1.9% of the vote to 1.1%. So let's start off with Ainty, because they're the new kids on the block. They've pulled 1.5% of the vote. That's actually ahead of People for Profit. People for Profit have been contesting elections in Northern Ireland for the past few years. So Ainty will be delighted that they're ahead of established figures that had 2 MLAs at their peak in 2016. And also, they're not too far behind the Greens. So the Greens have pulled 16,433 votes. Ainty have pulled 12,777 votes. So again, against 2 established kind of smaller parties, they'll be happy with that. And a couple of constituencies kind of just tell the tale of this. So let's go to West Belfast. You know, we were on the Red Lines podcast talking about Jerry Carroll's surplus and what would happen with it. People for Profit have scored just 7.5% of the vote. That is their worst share since 2011 in the constituency, okay? So for an incumbent MLA, again, a well-known MLA, popular Jerry Carroll, that is a very, very, very poor result for him. Ainty, on the other hand, have scored about 4% of the vote. Now, that doesn't put them in anywhere near contention for an Assembly seat, but remember, in Colin and Black Mountain DEAs, we're only a year away from the local elections, that will give them some heart about potentially maybe picking up some council seats next year.
So you think they might see that as kind of building momentum towards that?
Yeah, and they will use that to build some momentum toward that. And of course, they've done that also at the expense of the SDLP, who've pulled 5.8% of the vote in the constituency. Don't forget, the SDLP just recently celebrated the 30th anniversary of Joe Hendren winning the Westminster seat.